What is going on YouTube? Savage here. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Logitech Pro X wireless / Lightspeed headset. Now, I've been dying to get my hands on these. I've been an Astro fanboy for so long, but as I'm diving into other games that require a lot more minute sound adjustments, like Tarkov, I've found that the Astros really haven't been working out. So we're going to be reviewing this headset today. This video was recorded over a period of 3 weeks. I've already done the unboxing, tested it out. This is actually after the fact when, of course, I'm already wearing them. And I'm going to go over the pros and cons of this headset, grade the headset, and explain to you guys why I think it's actually worth the price. If you do enjoy the video or learn something new, make sure you leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel today if you guys are interested in any of the gaming tech related reviews. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the video. All right, so here we have the unboxing of the Logitech Pro X wireless. Now, I'm extremely excited for these headsets. I'm going to test them for about 2 weeks before we actually continue on. That way I can actually get a decent review, and it's not just an unboxing and me talking about how awesome it is. So I'm actually going to use this headset for a few weeks, maybe even a month, to really get some good quality testing for it. I want to test a few things with this headset, and we'll discuss that later in the video. This will be a couple months worth of progress, but I want to test the wireless interference. I have a modem and router right next to me, like many of you gamers do, and I want to see how much interference I have, and if I do have interference, how easy is it to fix and solve that problem. With the Astros, there was a lot of interference, and it wasn't that much of a pain in the butt, but you had to do some research to figure out how to solve it. I will say right off the bat, the box is a little bit pain in the butt, but that's just because I'm ignorant, and it's not Logitech's fault at all. All right, so we do have some cushion pads. So I do believe they actually give us an extra set, which is huge because the headset itself seems like it has the leather. And right off the bat, my first impressions are very sleek design. I really like it. A lot of comfortability. It looks like the leather is really thick as opposed to, again, what I'm used to. And that's the only thing I can really compare it to is my Astros. The band is extremely thick. I love that. There's a lot of feedback, meaning it's not just going to hang there off your ears and you're going to have trouble keeping it pressed against your ears, which is really nice. Now, I know the leather, I'm not a huge fan of leather normally. It gets hot and sometimes the leather will peel, at least again with other brands. So we'll be testing this out. I'll definitely rock the leather and the cloth and let you guys know what I prefer. But we do have, it looks like, the microphone button and a volume control, the on and off switch, and of course a USB 3.0 slot where you can charge it. Now, it does have a microphone slot. I will say, I don't know, and we'll have to look at the instructions, but I don't think you can actually plug these in and play with them. So I always forgot to charge my headsets, so I'd usually have to leave them wired anyway. Not a huge deal if you guys can remember to charge them, but the fact that there's no plug and play feature for if they're dead is pretty drastic, especially if you guys are doing some gaming for a long extended period of time. All right, got the instructions, get this cool ass bag. Damn, this bag's material is amazing. Wow. All right, so we do have a USB to a USB 3.0 slot. My computer does have a USB 3.0 adapter to it, so I'll probably go ahead and use my own cable. There's no need to take this one down just so it charges a lot faster. All right, here's the microphone right here for it. I use my own microphone clearly. I want to test out the quality and really see how good the quality is. I'll probably just end up in a game chat with my friends, see what they think it's like, because I know a lot of times you guys are gaming and usually the standard microphones on headsets are pretty garbage, so we're gonna find out firsthand. All right, I changed these out. I would imagine they just pop off, or they peel off. Well, that's relatively easy. Boom, look at that. Very easy. Now, every headset that I've had before this, it's usually pretty easy to swap these out, but the fact that these are free and they come with it, huge. I think I had to pay like $20 for Astros just to get them. Now, again, I do prefer the cloth. I will test the leather out, but usually the leather gets a little hot. All right, guys, first let's go ahead and talk about the pros. Now, there are a lot of pros and very little cons, so I'm gonna make this as short and sweet as possible. First off, the comfortability of this thing is out of this world. Again, I'm coming from Astro Gen 4s, only been using them for about a year, and already I can tell a huge difference. The pad is extremely thick on this headset, meaning if you're bald like me, you don't have to worry about it compressing your skull in, which is awesome. Secondly, off going back to comfortability, the ears is very wide. I have some big ass ears, and I will say it's extremely comfortable that they just fit on there, and it doesn't really feel like they're being pressed against my skull. Third off, the sturdiness of this headset is extremely high. You actually need to apply some pressure to pull and push the ear adjustments, which doesn't seem like a big deal to most of you guys, but again, coming from Astro, where I'm consistently having to put it back because the longer it sits on my head, it just slides down. Huge pain in the ass. So I will say, after 3 weeks of using these, I have not had to adjust them at all. Well, now that I've moved them, I might have to, but boom, right back to it. So I love that feature first and foremost. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about the leather ones. The leather ones, honestly, were extremely cool. I don't know what the difference between these leather ones and the other leather ones I was using for my other headset, but I didn't really feel like I got hot, and it did muffle a lot of sound. Now, the reason why I'm using the cloth instead of these is you can kind of hear yourself echoing when you talk. Again, for me, especially recording and streaming and things like that, I don't really like to hear myself. So I went back to the cloth. But if you guys really don't care and you really want to muffle all the outside sound, if you're playing with your brothers or siblings, people at work, whatever the case is, these will definitely be studio quality. Now, the battery life was amazing. The battery life is about 20 hours. I did test them out myself a couple of times. I got 20 hours, a little bit over 20 hours, like 20 hours and like 23 minutes. And the second time was about 21 hours. So they're pretty spot on when it comes to the battery life. Now, at the beginning of the video, I was saying that I didn't think you could play it while it was charging, but you actually can use them while they're charging. And the cable is extremely awesome because it's tangle free. A lot of headsets that I use, I always get tangled up and I'm consistently having to adjust it, but the cable doesn't tangle. And for those of you guys with big setups and a lot of cables, you know, you want to minimize the tingling feature as much as possible. Now, I did test out the interference a few different ways. My modem and router are about, I'd say, 3 feet away from where I'm sitting right now. They're on the other side of my computers. So I was a little concerned about the interference because, again, I've had interference from every other wireless headset that I've used before. I had zero interference with this headset at that distance. Now, I'd say as long as your router is about 3 feet away, which it should be, you won't have a problem at all. And the last two Pros may not seem like a big deal, but it does come with a nice little travel bag. And again, the quality is actually extremely good. It's almost like a silk. And on top of that, the detachable mic. A lot of you guys have microphones in your headsets that you cannot remove. I will tell you guys, being able to remove that, not having it just sit there and distracting you when you're trying to focus up on a game, is extremely helpful, especially if you use an external mic like I am. Now, the Logitech software makes this a beautiful PC gaming headset. In fact, it is the best gaming headset I've had the pleasure of using at this moment in time. But saying that, there are a few cons and they're not that big of a deal. I really had to get down to the nitty gritty just to find some cons. That way this video doesn't seem that biased. First con's gonna be they're not waterproof. Not a big deal. Who's spilling water on their headsets?
Guys,
I'm not looking. I have your stream pulled up, by the way.
Don't listen to this. I'm pulling up your stream.
But they're not waterproof, guys. But most headsets aren't. So again, not a huge deal. Now, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, and again, I might just be an idiot when it comes to switching these things out, but the earpieces were a nightmare to switch. It only took about 5 minutes, but man, I felt like every time I'd peel up one side, the other side would fly off, and vice versa. I will give Astro credit with theirs. And I still have my headset sitting here, thankfully. But their headset, it just pops off. They're magnetic, so it's a very good concept. Logitech, take notes. That right there, again, probably my only con that like really hits me at the soul is the earpieces. I want to swap them back and forth. I would love to have a magnetic attachment. Comparing one to the other, again, Logitech takes the cake when it comes to better equipment compared to Astro, which I've been using for the past 5 years. And lastly, and I really had to, again, I was digging deep trying to find something, and I'm glad I did, because if you guys are on console, this headset is still a very good headset, but because you don't have the software that can fine tune all the different equalizers and things like that, it's not as good as it is on PC. But again, comparing it to the headsets I have had the pleasure of using on console, talking about Turtle Beaches, Corsair headsets, Astros, again, this one still takes the cake. But again, guys, thank y'all for watching. I don't have the headset on anymore. It is charging in the back, but again, I really do love this headset. As an overall grade, I will give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 for being the best that I've had the pleasure of using is because it's kind of lacking on console because of the lack of software. If for some reason they can release their Logitech software for console, it will be an absolute game changer. Also, the microphone quality really was kind of, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. Not as bad as some that I've used. Again, Astros is probably the worst, but for you guys on console, I want y'all to have a headset that can actually provide some good microphone quality as well as some audio quality. So again, guys, if y'all want to follow me along on this journey and find out what headset is going to be best for you, make sure you subscribe today, leave a like on the video, and we will be diving into headset reviews almost every week. But until next time, guys, you have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.